Hello and welcome to the AudPod, the podcast where we talk about everything odd. I am your host, Audrey. How are we doing today? So, I'm gonna be honest. I'm having a little bit of anxiety right now, a little bit of panic, because actually 2 days ago on Saturday, today is Monday, on Saturday, I filmed an entire podcast episode. It was over an hour long, just to find out that my mic didn't record. I don't know if my microphone wasn't turned on, wasn't plugged in, if I didn't select it, but the podcast ended up getting recorded on my MacBook microphone, which made it sound like I was in a Zoom meeting. And I think we've all heard way too much of that. So I didn't want to trigger anyone's fight or flight by making you feel as if you were in a Zoom conference. That's not great. So yeah, I had to scrap that entire episode. Luckily, it wasn't the best. So I wasn't too upset that it didn't work out. But guys, Mercury is in retrograde. No, it's not. It's in shadow right now. As I'm recording this, it's the 10th. But it goes into retrograde on the 14th. For those of you who don't know, Mercury retrograde, we've all heard about it. Whether or not you know what it is, we've all heard about it. Come on. The thing with that is it causes like communication issues and sometimes technology issues and just a whole bunch of fun stuff. So yeah, during this time, make sure you're really paying attention if you work on a computer, or if you are a student and you use a computer, or you do anything with a computer. Make sure you're backing up your files, keeping track of those files. Make sure if you're recording a podcast, you turn the microphone on. And I'm like really paranoid right now. I want to stop the recording just to make sure it's recording through the microphone, because I really don't want to experience what I experienced again. Okay, anyways, let's jump into today's episode. My camera, I have shot on like a different setting each time. I'm not sure what setting I want to shoot on, because from what I can see on like the tiny little viewfinder, I don't know what it looks like. I don't know if it looks any different. I can barely see anything. I cannot see that far away. Okay, so what are we doing here today? I posted on my Instagram story actually, and I asked you guys what you want to talk about. Let's hear what you guys have to say. And I did get some responses. I did. So we're gonna go over that. I hope that I can fit them all in this podcast episode, because we all know I tend to talk a lot. So I might like literally just cover like 2 of them because I talk so much. So let's see here. If I can pull them up on my computer, that would be ideal. That would definitely be ideal. Hello? Can I not? Can I not? No. Oh. That's so sad. Okay, well, let's pull it up on my phone then. Let's pull it up on my phone. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram if you want to be a part of polls when I ask for questions for the podcast. Let's see. Let me reload just in case there's any last minute entries. Okay, we have the questions. I'll just put them off to the side here because I want to chat just for a second, just before we jump into this. Let's see, what's been going on in my life? What's been going on? As soon as I sit down to record, I swear I just can't remember. Like throughout the week, I'm like, oh, I want to talk about this in the podcast. Like, I want to bring this up with you guys. But then as soon as I sit down, it's like, huh? No thoughts, head empty. For real. Is there anything? Anything at all? Okay, I guess not. I thought I had updates on my life, but apparently I don't. Oh, I do have one. Spring semester started for me today. For those of you who don't know, yes, I am a college student. Are we surprised? She's getting an education? What? Yes, I am a college student. I'm a psychology major, and I think I'm almost done with my associates. RIP. Yeah, I know. Because in the psychology field, you literally can't do anything unless you have a master's degree, preferably a doctorate, but that would be about 8 years away. So that's something I'm going to have to figure out soon. Luckily, this semester, there were no core classes that were available for me to take. So I got to take all electives this semester. And I think I'm taking Intro to Ethnic Studies, then Intro to World Religions, and then Americanization. So they're all very much culture-oriented classes, and all about America. And, I don't want to get too much into that, because if I start talking about that, I will genuinely be here forever. But it's just really cool. It talks about discrimination, equality, marginalized groups, and then the other classes are just different cultures from all over the world and the history of the world and stuff. And it sounds very fun. We'll see if my attention span can handle it. Because unfortunately, I can take the most fun classes and still somehow procrastinate. Even if I love the class and it's so fun, it's just having an authority figure looming over me and telling me I have to do something by a certain time. Yeah, that's a deep-rooted thing that I'm working through, authority issues. I take all my classes online though, at least, so I can do my work in solitude, which is what I like. I was doing that even before the Panasonic. I use a replacement word and then I say the replacement word wrong. That's very good. But yeah, I took one semester of college in person, actually on the campus, and I was like, this is not for me. But that's just because my college is boring and the campus is not that aesthetic. Unfortunately, yes, it does come down to that. Do I want to go out of my way to drive all the way to a campus that isn't aesthetic? No, I don't. And at least I'm honest with myself. I'd rather just work from home. Do school from home. And work from home, I guess. Okay, well, should we hop into these questions? I've already been talking for so long, but have I really been saying anything? Something to think about. Okay, let's take a look. Let's start off with a nice little simple introduction question we have here. And that is, I'm so paranoid about the microphone shutting off and recording on my laptop. How unfortunate would that be? Okay. The first question is, how are your animals? For those of you who don't know, I have 3 guinea pigs. I used to have more animals. Very sad update for you guys. Cream Puff sadly passed away, my little hamster. I adopted her and I wasn't quite sure how old she was to begin with. So hamsters usually live like about 1.5 to 2 years. But I had her for a good long while, for a good minute. And I think she enjoyed the remainder of her life. So that was a little sad that that happened, but I'm glad I got to have the time with her that I did have. And the guinea pigs, they're doing fantastic. They're doing great. They're right outside my door right now, and they're probably going to yell at me soon to get them some lettuce and some peppers. Hopefully I'll be making another guinea pig video very soon, because I know so many of you guys absolutely love the guinea pigs. Could not care less about me. It's just the guinea pigs. And you know what? I get it. I get it. I understand the hype. So yes, the animals are doing fantastic. Let's see. Oh, you guys asked such good questions. I think I had one question on YouTube too, on the community tab. I also asked, let's see. Oh, someone asked my thoughts on school, like college and high school, and why you shouldn't drop out. And they asked a couple of other things too, like how to stay motivated, how to grow out of bad habits, and all of that. But that's funny that they mentioned college and high school, because I was just talking about that. Oh my gosh, yeah, I definitely think once it's like back to school season for high schoolers, middle schoolers, even possibly watching my videos, I'm definitely going to make a video of like what I wish I could have told my freshman self. But briefly touching on high school and college, for high school, I think my best advice, I might have to ponder on this a little bit more. This is definitely mostly for high school. Decide whether you want the social experience from high school or the academic experience from high school. I'm not saying that you can't have both, but I'm saying if you really think about what is going to benefit you the most, then, and if you can come to a conclusion, then I think that you definitely should. Of course, if that's not something that you know about, or like you do want both, then do it. Of course, there's no right answer, but with my experience with high school was horrible. Actually, I graduated a year early, so a year ahead of my class, because I just was straight up not having a good time. And you know what I think would have fixed that is if I would have just focused on the academic side of high school and not so much like the social life. But I put so much pressure on myself to experience like the classic high school experience and do all the crazy teen stuff. And sure, it was fun. Don't get me wrong. But I just wish I would have put more effort into my schoolwork and really, just powered through it, because it is not that long. 4 years, for some people 3 years. That's not a long time. And trust me, oh my God, it gets so much better when you're out of high school. I've heard. I still don't have friends, so I still don't do much of like the social aspect of things. But once you're an adult, you can just like do whatever your definition of fun is, and you don't have to ask anyone for permission to do it. So I would say, yeah, for high school, that's my biggest thing. Is like, if you're going to focus on academics, focus on academics. I'd say it's like 80-20 rule. So what side are you going to give 80% of your attention to, and what side are you going to give 20% of your attention to? And that might sound like I'm giving very bad advice. Now that I'm thinking about it, a lot of you guys are probably like, Audrey, it's school. It's high school. Shouldn't you only be focusing on like the academic side of things? Hello? Listen, I'm going to be honest with you, because I'm honest. At least I'm honest about my personal experience. It definitely could be different for other people, depending on who you ask. But the stuff you learn in high school, I genuinely cannot remember any of it. Like, genuinely none of it. And then, if you do go to college, you have to get your generals. If you live in the United States, I don't know if it's different. It probably is very different outside of the United States. But you have to get your generals, which is 2 years of school. So it's sort of like an associate's degree. I mean, it kind of is. I'm not going to get into it. But the generals is literally taking all of the core classes all over again. Like math, science, English, PE. Yes, you still have to take PE in college. Like, what the heck? Huh? And you have to take, like, you know, an arts credit and all that kind of stuff. So you're going to be relearning it anyways. And then you can actually, like, once you get to college, you can pick certain classes within each subject that actually, like, benefit what you want to do in life. You know? Whereas in, like, high school, you have, like, biology, chemistry, physics. But then once you get to college, you can actually, like, pick a science class that has to do with what you actually want to do. So my whole point with this, my whole point is you should still get good grades. You should still pass your classes. Like, at least strive for, like, B's. Okay? Like, I'm not saying completely drop the ball and just, like, flunk high school. But I'm saying if you are a very social person, you're a social butterfly, and that's what you get the most joy from, then really focus on that. Really allow yourself to, like, focus on that so you aren't feeling, because what's the point of enjoying the social side of high school if the entire time you're just going to feel bad because you feel like you're not putting in enough work academically? Does that make sense? It's basically like, in the moment, you don't want to ruin what you're experiencing in the moment by, like, being so worried, like, am I making the right decision, blah, 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 blah. Just decide, make that choice and stick by that choice. And so then when you look back at the memories, you don't have memories like me where I'm like, oh, darn, I wish I would have, like, distributed my energy differently in high school. So, did that make any sense? Did that make any sense? But also, high school, I don't know, it's very different now. It's very different now than when I was in high school. I think it's been like 4 years since I've been in high school. Almost 4 years, coming up on 4 years. Well, that made me feel like really, really old. Yeah, you would think I would have had a better social experience in high school because I was, like, a varsity cheerleader. Can you guys believe that? Do I look? Yeah, I was a varsity cheerleader. And I could do a whole separate video on my high school experience because oh my. You know what? Even though it was very tumultuous and horrible and PTSD inducing, I am grateful I had the experience that I did because it did shape a lot of my personality that I have today. And I love who I am today. So that means I have to love the lessons that I learned from past experiences. I don't have to love the past experiences. I just have to love the lessons that I was able to get from those experiences. Okay, that was, like, very long-winded. For college, I don't have much advice on college just because I've done everything strictly online and I'm not really that deep into it. I would say don't stress yourself out about the whole thing. It's really, I know high school seems like this giant buildup and all the teachers are always like, once you go to college, they're not going to let this slide. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they're lying to you. Depending on what college you go to, I don't know. If you go to, like, Yale or, like, Harvard or something, then maybe, you know, things are going to be a little more strict. Things are going to be a little more difficult. But I don't know, just don't stress yourself out, especially when it comes down to like choosing a major. Here's my best advice. College is hard to give advice on because it is so different depending on your personal situation and like your resources that are available to you and everything. But my advice, what worked for me, is go to a community college first, especially if you are looking to get like a bachelor's degree or master's or like anything. Go to a community college first, like a 2-year college. And I know you guys are like, ugh, no, community college. Because, oh my God, doesn't our society love to put stigmas on absolutely everything and loves to, rank things when that's, no. So, community college, it's cheaper. And you didn't hear this from me, but it is a little bit easier, I would say. Again, that's very dependent on like professors and the classes that you're taking. But I would say get your generals done at a community college. Then while you're there, you can take a bunch of different courses, especially for elective credits. Just take a bunch of courses in all like the areas you're interested in. And then you can really narrow it down. Like, okay, what did I really enjoy doing? What did I absolutely dread doing? And it will help you figure out what you want to do. So then when you transfer to a university, you'll already know what you want to do. And you can just hop right into it and you'll already have your generals done. So you can get right into your actual major. So that's definitely my advice to you guys. And at the end of the day, I know it's very easy to want to drop out, especially when you have people like me telling you that you won't even remember half the stuff that you learn. But something I learned is the most important thing you can do is to do things for yourself. Like, as long as you're doing school because you have to, or because, your parents told you have to, or because it's required by law, whatever, right? Just as sucky as it is, this is coming from someone who has issues with authority. But you just got to look at the things that are in it that are actually benefiting you. Even if you feel like you are not going to remember half of the stuff that you learned, well, you know what? At least you're learning. And you're going to retain some of that knowledge, and it is going to benefit you. And you're learning how you learn. Like, you're learning how you best retain information. You're learning how to like organize and study, and all of that stuff translates into like every area of life. So even if you absolutely hate school, high school or college or whatever, just look at all the little things that are benefiting you. Does that make sense? Also, romanticize that shit. Like, really romanticize it. Because I look back at high school and then I'll look at like the girls on TikTok making like high school morning routine videos, and they get up at like 5 a.m. and do like yoga and make a green smoothie and stuff like that. And they'll like do their homework in the morning and stuff. I'm like, I wish I did that in high school. And that's kind of what makes me wish I would have prioritized the schoolwork more. Because once you get into college, it is a lot different. You won't have that experience ever again. So yeah, romanticize your life. Wake up early, or just wake up with time before class to make yourself a little coffee, to stop and go get coffee, to do a 15-minute little stretch. Pretend like you are doing a little morning routine video. And I don't know, just really slow down and like live in the moment, because it really passes you by so quickly. I don't even know. There's just so much to talk about with that. But yeah, slow down, live in the moment. I know it's so easy, especially when you're in high school, to be like, oh my God, I am literally counting down the seconds until I turn 18 and can be an adult and do my own shit. And it is really fun. I'm like, and it's really fun. So keep counting. No. The thing you just don't realize is right now, if you're in high school, like look back, you know how now you talk about how much you miss like elementary school and how much you miss being like 12. And even though you definitely wouldn't want to go back, you still miss certain aspects of that. And now in like our generation and this time in life, everybody is like so pressured to move so quickly and like compare yourself to the things you see online, and it makes you miss out on so much in the moment. And that sounds so cheesy, but it's true. It's true. Like live in the moment. Enjoy the days that you get up and go to school and walk through the hallways and open up your locker and all that stuff. Like really just, while you're doing it, just be like, damn, I'm waking up, I'm going to school. I'm walking through the hallway, I'm opening my locker, I'm sitting down in science class. Like, just be present. And it makes it a little more enjoyable. Because if you're always yearning for something in the future, you're just going to make yourself upset. If you're always wanting something else or looking into the future, trying to reach out for something else, like you're just gonna stress yourself out more, because time is gonna move at its own pace no matter what. Like you can't really do anything about that. So why keep like getting yourself all worked up in the moment of like, oh, I wish I was 18, or like I wish I could just graduate. I wish. It's like, oh, that will all come to you. And it's guaranteed. Like you're gonna turn 18. It's gonna happen. So if you know that, just have it be in the back of your mind, something to look forward to, but like still enjoy your life in the moment. That was a lot, and we still have other questions. See what I said? I said that we're only gonna get through like 2 questions because I just talk so much. I talk so much, and then after I talk, I can't even remember what I said. I cannot even remember what I said. But yeah, I might do a whole video on like high school advice, because, as someone who graduated a year early from high school, I'm definitely the one to be giving out advice, aren't I? Okay, let's see. Someone said, living alone. I need some motivation to clean my house even though no one sees the mess. I get that. For those of you who don't know, I do live alone. Ooh, fancy, taking advantage of my adult liberties that are very expensive. But I used to really have a hard time with cleaning. If my mom is watching this, she's probably laughing so hard right now, because she used to have to get after me so much to clean my room and like put away my laundry and wash the dishes and all of that. And now the tables have turned. I'm very much a clean freak, which is funny because I do still let things get very messy. But I think the key here is, again, a lot of my advice comes back to like, just be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Like, handle yourself with kindness. Because also the more you do that for yourself, you're setting the standard for the people around you, and it's going to start like influencing that. It's going to start to influence them to handle you with kindness and be gentle with you. If you give that to yourself first. Ooh, I need to restart my camera. So, yeah, be gentle with yourself. If things get messy, they're bound to get messy. As easy as it is to like assume as soon as you have your own place and stuff that it's just going to look spotless all the time, it's just not true. Because sometimes you have to run out the door, you're running late, and you move through your entire house like a tornado, and you don't even realize it, and you get home and everything's a mess. And sometimes, you know what? You got home from a super long day and you're exhausted and you don't want to clean. And that's okay. That's okay. You don't want to, like, if you're already tired and exhausted and you're not wanting to do something, why would you, like, beat yourself up over it too? Like, does that make sense? It doesn't make sense. That's the thing. It's like if you're already not feeling good and you're already tired, why would you, of all people, get mad at yourself on top of all that? If you know what kind of day you just had, then you should be like, okay, we're going home and we're eating ice cream and we are going to bed. You know? Like, just be gentle with yourself. That's my first tip. Don't worry. That's not it. That's not, I'm just like, just ignore the mess. No. But here's also the thing, is with a lot of the stuff growing up, we have been conditioned to view certain things as like negative, like cleaning up, because our whole childhood, well, I don't know about you guys, but in general, kids are always being like told, like, clean that up, like clean up after yourself. Oh, you know, like, oh, if you get that out, you have to put it away. And so it just builds this negative connotation in the back of our minds that like cleaning up is something that isn't fun and you have to dread doing it. And it's just like a big chore, which is annoying. It's annoying because it's like you're set up to fail before you can even make your own decisions. That's a whole other topic. So like if you struggle with cleaning, if you struggle with like keeping your room clean or doing your laundry or letting your clean laundry pile up on the floor or like on a chair or on your bed, then let's unpack that. So if that resonates with you, try to dig deep and think, okay, when I hear the word clean, when I hear the word laundry or dishes, what is the first thought that pops into your head? What feeling do you get? Because chances are there is a very automatic response that you have to like certain words. So if you hear that word or you think about like a certain word and you instantly just feel like, and it instantly kind of shifts your mood, then that is not your fault. And you are not lazy. You are not, you know, like dirty, or you don't not have standards for yourself. I hate when people tell you that, especially parents. Oh my gosh, when they say like, you haven't done anything all day, your room is a mess. It's like, oh my God. Oh my God. Like, okay. So if you have negative feelings to certain words, this is hard to do. It's a hard process. So like, don't force yourself to do it, but really think back, like, why is this your initial response when you hear certain words? Like, where did these negative emotions come from? And if it came from growing up and always being told to clean, and it's always felt like something that you had to do instead of something that you were doing for yourself. And if you still live at home, you still live with your parents, and they still get after you to clean and all that. I know how difficult that is, because again, oh my gosh, maybe there is a theme to this podcast, and it is my underlying issues with authority. So I know how it is. I know how it is when, you know, you wake up one morning and you're like, I'm going to clean my bathroom today. Or like, I'm going to put away my clothes. And then that doesn't mean you're going to wake up and instantly like jump out of bed and just start doing it like you're a robot. No. And then as you're like building up the momentum to put away your clothes or clean your bathroom, and then a parent or an authority figure of some sort walks in and they're like, oh, have you put away your clothes yet? Did you clean the bathroom yet? It's so gross. You really want to use a bathroom when it looks like that? Oh my God. How many of you did I trigger? Comment down below if I triggered you. But yeah, that is so hard. And it really sucks because I would tell you like, oh, just sit down with like this person and explain where you're coming from. And sometimes that does work. But a lot of times it doesn't work. Because a lot of times what is happening is a little something called projection. And your parents or whoever, probably grew up having their parents tell them the same thing. So it's almost like they're trying to even out this wrong that they experienced in their childhood by doing it to you and putting it on you, and finally getting to experience like the other side of that situation. When in reality, it's like, okay, are we in preschool? Like, what's going on? That's just not how you do things. But once you start to understand where they're coming from, it helps you like separate yourself from the situation a little bit more. So once you understand, okay, they grew up with someone doing the exact same thing to them, and so now they don't know anything else. Like, they don't know anything different. And it doesn't excuse the fact that it makes you feel bad, but it does help you like understand it a little bit more, and it takes away some of that like raging anger that can be brought up in situations like that. But if you live alone, and you are still struggling with cleaning, again, think, do you have like certain emotions that are brought up when you think about having to clean, or you think about having to do chores of some sort? Because again, it probably does go back to your childhood and things that you experienced as a child. And this is where we get into the fun part, is like rewiring your thinking, which sounds like so scary. And it sounds like, oh my God, like how do you do that? But it's honestly not, okay, I'm not going to say it's not hard, but it's not as scary as it sounds. So once you identify, okay, this word or this activity brings up a negative feeling for me. Like it's an instant, you don't even have any like conscious thoughts. You just hear the word and it's instant, like, ugh. Like you kind of just sink into yourself and you're like, oh. So if that happens and you identify it and you say, okay, this word, this activity, that's the trigger. This is the emotion it brings up. Then you have to think, why? I know it's easy to stop at just being like, oh, well, I just don't want to do it. Or it's just not fun. Like that's, that's where you want to stop, because there's no solution to that. And a lot of times, no matter how bad you think you want a solution, if you're not ready to actually accept the solution and execute the solution, then you're going to be like, oh, I just wish like there was a solution to my problems. But then you're going to like come up with a version of your problem that has no solutions, just so you can keep being in the space of like, ugh, I wish there was something I could do, but like, what can I do if I just hate cleaning? What can I do if I just don't like cleaning? Do you know what I mean? Because actually like fixing, like solving the problem, that takes work too. And it's just, eesh. Who actually has energy nowadays? I don't think any of us actually have energy. So it is hard. Like, I'm not blaming anyone. I do the same thing. So once you identify all that, once you like figure out the root, like, okay, growing up, I had very like strict parents who were always getting after me to clean. And they were always, telling me that I was lazy or that I was like gross and didn't have standards for myself. And those kind of hearing those things has now conditioned me to view chores in a negative light. I don't know if it's that deep for a lot of you, but maybe it is. I don't know. I just share my thoughts and hope that it resonates with some of you guys. And then restructuring your thinking. So you can journal this kind of stuff if it helps, but think, okay, well, what do I personally benefit from? Like, what are the benefits of cleaning? Now, for a second, look past the fact that cleaning is time consuming or it's boring or, it's just not something you like doing. Look past those for a second and think, okay, well, what are the good things that I experience from cleaning? Now, this can be like you feel more motivated and productive when your living space is clean. Or right after you clean, you feel so, what's the word? You feel so productive, you feel like you've accomplished something. Just any of those. Like, what do you get out of cleaning or keeping your space clean and tidy? What are the good feelings you get from that? What are the benefits you get from that? Because it's so easy to just focus on but I just hate it. And then of course you're going to hate it if that's all you ever think about. And then once you start to notice, like, okay, there's actually like a lot of benefits that I get from cleaning. Then you start to like be more open to the idea. And you start to override that initial feeling of like, ugh, when you think about cleaning or doing chores. Because now you're starting to think about, okay, well, I don't want to do the chore, but I'm going to feel like so productive after I get it done. And at the beginning, it is definitely a fake it till you make it. At the beginning, it definitely is like channeling some willpower of having to get yourself to stand up and clean. And also, something that really works for me is just start with something simple. If your clothes are all over the floor, then just start with putting the dirty clothes in the hamper. Or, like separating dirty clothes from clean clothes, or just like putting the dirty clothes in the hamper. Start with something like that. And if you are in the mood and you have enough energy to actually clean, you're going to notice once you complete that first initial task. So say you have a bunch of dirty dishes. First task can be gather up all the dishes and bring them to the sink. Maybe like fill them with water, let them soak, and then see how you're feeling. If you're still not feeling it and you're really just, like not feeling good, then hey, you did one step, you're one step closer to having it done. But you'll notice that once you get this first step done, half of the time you're like, okay, well, I already put all the dirty clothes in the hamper. I might as well carry it to the laundry room. Okay, well, I'm in the laundry room. I might as well just throw them in the wash. It's like a domino effect. But the thing is, it isn't guaranteed every single time that that's going to work. And you have to be okay with that. Again, it brings us back to like being gentle with yourself and not like bullying your own self. Oh my gosh, we have enough mean people in this world. Like, at least be your own best friend. Like, be the person that you wish you could find in someone else. Like, be that for yourself. So, yeah. Focus on little chunks. Personally, for me, what I like to do is during the week, I don't put pressure on myself to clean. I don't put pressure on myself to do any big chores like laundry or anything. And then on the weekend, like specifically Sunday, is kind of when I'll wake up in the morning, have a nice glass of coffee, like open up all the blinds, let the sun shine in, turn on like some of my favorite YouTube videos, and then I'll just get it done. I'll do my laundry Because then my thought process is I always start out with laundry. Maybe this is a little hack. So I save up my laundry throughout the week, and on Sunday, that's the day I do it. And once my laundry is in the washing machine, I'm like, oh, I kind of think of it as like a timer. Like, okay, my laundry is going to be in the wash for an hour. And then I'm going to have to go move it over into the dryer. So in this hour, what other chores can I get done? So it kind of gives you an external timer of like, oh, well, I'm already kind of in chore mode because I have to go back and get the laundry out in an hour. So I might as well like do another chore while I'm in the zone, in the cleaning zone. And yeah, that can be something as like, oh, you threw your laundry in, you walk back into your room. Oh, let me make my bed really quick. And then you're like, oh, let me vacuum my floors real fast. And slowly, especially if you have like YouTube videos you like to listen to or music, make it like a fun little thing. If you do live at home, you can try to figure out when is a time that you're home alone that you can really just zone in and purely clean for yourself. Like purely do it because you want to do it. It's on your terms. You're getting benefits from it. That could be a good thing. Just try to do it when no one's home. And when you live alone, it is very easy to be like, oh, well, no one else is going to see it but me. But here's a fun little fact for you guys, a little psychology fact. So when you do stuff for yourself, this is why this comes back to, oh my God, every single like entrepreneur or like motivational speaker, they will all say like, make your bed in the morning. First thing in the morning when you wake up, make your bed, make your bed, make your bed, make your bed. Oh, we've all heard it. Haunting, right? Like, why? Why do you care so much about my sheets? Like, why does it matter? But here's the thing. Oh my God. Okay, there's a couple psychology facts that go along with this and can go along with a lot of stuff. So first thing is when you do something for yourself, like make your bed or make yourself some food, like make yourself a nice meal, or you do your skincare routine. Obviously, there are like physical benefits from that. Like, oh, you make your bed, your room looks clean. You make yourself a good meal, well, like it's going to fill you up. You do your skincare routine, then hopefully, it's helping your skin. But there's also a psychological effect at play here. Because every time you do something like that for yourself, you're literally telling your brain, like, hey, I care about you. Like, we care. Like, we're in this together. And the more nice things you do for yourself, the more your brain is like, okay. You're like setting the tone, setting the vibe. Like if you're constantly telling yourself like, oh, well, I don't have to do that because I'm the only one who will see it. Or like I'm the only one that will know. So what's the point? The point is you are telling your subconscious that you care about yourself. And that just, it makes you feel better. It makes your brain want to give you more like happy hormones and like dopamine and endorphins and all that fun stuff. And then another psychology little tip. Now listen, I don't know if I'm like wording this exactly how like it would be worded scientifically, but when you wake up, it does set the tone for the rest of the day, like the first thing that you do, because dopamine is the reward drug. You get it, your brain releases dopamine when you do something successfully or when you just do an activity that you like or an activity that has like positive connotations. So if you wake up and first thing in the morning, you go on TikTok, you go on Instagram, you go, like check social media. If that's the first thing you do in the morning, that's like your first dopamine high, your first rush of dopamine, your first hit of dopamine in the morning. If it comes from social media, then for the rest of your day, that's gonna be what you're like craving, because your brain is like, hey, well, this gave us some nice dopamine this morning. So like, let's keep going back to this. Let's get more dopamine from it. Let's keep doing it. And that's kind of how you get sucked into this cycle of, not being productive, being on social media all day. And that's why like people will say how important a morning routine actually is. And I'm one to talk because my morning routine recently has been absolutely horrible. It's been terrible. I wake up like an hour after I want to wake up, and then I'm usually like rushing out the door. And I have to admit, the days that I do that, I feel so like tired and just like negative throughout the day. Whereas the days that I force myself to get out of bed at 5 in the morning and like go to the gym before work, yeah, it's harder, but mentally I feel better. I may be exerting more energy, but at the end of the day, like I just feel better. And it's gonna be easier to like keep habits up like that if you're focusing on the positive, like we were talking about before. Focus on the positive aspects. Because think of it as like you have to give something in order to receive. So what you're giving is your energy and like pushing through the fact that like you don't want to do this, or you're tired, or you just, you don't want to do it. You are pushing through that so that you can be given something, some kind of benefit. So you need to don't just focus on what you're putting in and like how exhausting it is and how much you don't want to do it. Focus on, okay, I'm doing this so that I can feel better throughout the day, or I can have more time later in the afternoon to do what I want to do, like stuff like that. How does this relate to cleaning? Let's reel it back in. So yeah, every time you like clean your room, or you pick your clothes up off the floor, or you go around and gather up all the trash, throw it away, you're doing something nice for yourself. You're taking care of your environment. And that just tells your brain like, oh, hey, like we want to feel good. We want to experience good stuff, like we're putting in the work. And you want to be on your brain's good side. It's so easy to fall into the trap of like beating yourself up and getting on your own bad side. Like, come on, why are we doing that? No. We just simply can't. We don't, in this economy, we can't be doing that. No. You are like the best resource you could ever have. You are your own unlimited resource. Like, that's incredible. And you are devoted to yourself. Like, there's not a second of the day that you aren't with yourself. And see, if any of you guys, I'm calling you out right now, if any of you guys had a reaction to that of like, yeah, unfortunately, or like, yeah, trust me, I know, I wish that wasn't the case, like stuff like that, stop it. Cut it out right now. I'm not letting that behavior slide. I'm just not. Sorry. Because this can be a whole nother video. But literally, capitalism. Listen, under a system that profits off of insecurities, loving yourself is a rebellious act. One of my favorite quotes. And you really got to think about that one. Like, think about how much our economic system thrives off of insecurity. Really think about it. Like, makeup, cosmetic surgery, like gym memberships, clothing, special clothing that for your body type, magazines offering like all sorts of dangerous health advice. So, like, what do you think that is? That's the whole game. And you can let yourself get sucked into it. And I don't blame you, because I've been sucked into it before too, and it sucks. You don't feel good. But once you start to realize, like, oh, wait, this is exactly what they want. Boom. Loophole found. Authority issues kicking in. That's when you say, oh, wait 1 minute. Nope. No. Because if it's someone else is telling me to not like myself, all of a sudden, I'm top tier. Nothing can even come close to me. You know, like, I'm the baddest bitch alive. Like, go mind your own business. Don't tell me what to do. That's the attitude I want to see from you guys. That is the attitude I want us to embody this year. Because it's true. It's true. You know how much DNA, how many atoms came together to make you? You have so many freaking atoms, molecules that are harmoniously working together every waking second of the day to make you. And you're going to have the audacity to not like yourself and to not appreciate yourself and treat yourself with kindness? Bestie, how are you going to tell the molecules that? How are you going to tell the molecules? How are you going to tell the billions of cells that work tirelessly? Mitochondria, powerhouse of the cell? Why? Why is the mitochondria the powerhouse of the cell? It's to keep you alive. Mitochondria would not famously be the powerhouse of the cell if the cell wasn't needed. And that cell is needed. Those billions of cells are needed to make you, to keep you alive. So go ahead. Next time you want to do some self-pity or you want to talk down on yourself, think of the mitochondria. Think of the mitochondria. Picture yourself. How would you tell all of those little mitochondria in you that you don't like yourself? Oh, the betrayal. All those mitochondria would be like, oh, powerhouse of the cell, and for what? To be underappreciated by my own host, I guess. Are we hosting ourselves? I don't know. So, that kind of took a turn. That really did take a turn. I mean, I did get some questions about, like anxiety and depression and self-identity, figuring out who you are. But this all ties into that. That's like the first step. Be gentle with yourself. Treat yourself with kindness. Because here's the thing. Once you start being kind to yourself, and once you treat every negative thought with kindness, every time it arises, you say, oh, I am under, like, oh, I need to restart my camera. So once you start treating yourself with kindness and thoughts come up and you acknowledge them and you say, I am respecting the fact that right now I feel upset. I'm respecting the fact that right now I feel angry. I understand that this is why I feel angry. And like once you start doing that, then it's going to be so much easier in the long run to work through things and not be totally like drowned out by your emotions. And then just be a bad bitch. I don't care who you are. Like, be a bad bitch. You really want to listen to what capitalism wants you to do? You hear that? Crickets. Absolute crickets. But, oh, yeah, I could talk all day about that. Self-confidence and stuff like that. Self-esteem. Oh, self-esteem. I learned some stuff the other day about self-esteem, and do we want to unpack that? Okay, I've learned a couple things about self-esteem. Let's unpack the less triggering one. Let's do that. So self-esteem. I've been reading a book. And it's a really good book. And it's called The Righteous Mind. And it's all about why politics and religion divide people so easily. Like, why are people so passionate about that kind of stuff? And why do they never like change their minds or their opinions? Very interesting. He goes like literally hundreds of millions of years back into the past to unpack the human brain. And self-esteem. We developed self-esteem as like an evolutionary tool almost. It's like a behavioral modifier. So originally, and I'm talking like hundreds of thousands of years ago, this is why we developed self-esteem. Self-esteem is supposed to like trigger a response to conform to what the group is doing. Like, we have self-esteem to help us adapt, because way back in the day, you wanted to be doing what other people were doing because there was strength in numbers, and you wanted to be accepted in with like groups so you could all work together and, you know, pick berries and shit together. You don't want to do that on your own. Sad. So we developed self-esteem because, yeah, self-esteem is supposed to tell you like certain things, but it's not supposed to tell you if you're ugly or not, because what does that even mean? What does that even mean? You know, like, really think about that. What? No. Like, it does suck that we still have so many behaviors and thought processes that are not really useful today. Like, they definitely are if you can like consciously kind of fine tune a couple things here and there. But yeah, self-esteem. It was literally for like hundreds of thousands of years ago so we could fit into the best hunter-gatherer group. It was developed so if you saw a bunch of people like washing their fruit before they ate it, then you would start to do it because you would feel bad, because you'd be like, wait, I don't do that and they're all doing that. So then you would start doing it, you know? Kind of seems like a flawed mechanism, if I'm being honest, from like the jump. Human intuition. Ooh, let me tell you. The book also talks a lot about intuition and all that. But isn't that interesting? Doesn't that make you feel slightly better? It's like when you feel as if you're having like a bad self-esteem day or just bad self-esteem in general, just think like, oh, wait a minute. Like, this is not what self-esteem was made to be. Like, this is not what it was meant for. And freaking capitalism and society, because we do in fact live in a society. I don't know if you guys know, but yes, it's true. The rumors are true. We do in fact live in a society, unfortunately. And yeah, so our system found a way to monetarily thrive off of this human process of self-esteem. And they completely like manipulated it and rewrote it so that we would interpret it as something entirely different than what it was meant to be. Because it was literally it was like survival of the fittest. Like, that kind of stuff. I can't decide if I want to swear or not. I've like sworn and then I've also not. So, But self-esteem, why would we use self-esteem to tell us if we're fitting in with the latest trends or not? Like, bitch, if you don't fucking get LED lights in your room, are you gonna die? Is your lineage just gonna cease to exist right there on the spot? Like, no. That's like a whole thing. That is a whole thing. That's a whole thing. And that's all I'll say about that. How did I even get here? How did we get here? Pop quiz. What points led us to this one? But yeah, just with the self-identity and like anxiety and stuff, so much of it has been taught to us. So much of it, we've just been raised, like we've grown up with all of these like themes surrounding us and just stigmas just pre-packaged nicely into our brains. And it's like, no, fuck your stigmas. I don't want these. They're taking up space in my brain. You want to know something? All those nasty stigmas you're carrying around in your head, if you took the time to unpack them and get rid of them, bitch, you would have so much more room in your brain for like photos of cute cats. Because I would rather be carrying around an excessive amount of cat photos than societal stigmas. Like, no. You know when your fucking iPhone camera roll gets full and then you start getting that notification that just yells at you every 5 seconds and it's like, camera storage is full. Please delete some photos or upgrade your iCloud storage. You know, that kind of stuff. That's literally what happens like when your brain is full of all of this like shit that is absolutely useless and it's just been fed to you like your whole life. It's literally triggering that notification of like, let's get rid of some of this because we don't need it. And it's preventing you from filling your brain with things that will actually benefit you. Just like having a full camera roll, it's preventing you from making new memories and like taking photos of more stuff. And yeah, it's going to take some work to have to scroll through your entire fucking camera roll and, you know, find the photos that you want to delete. But you got to do it. You can't just go through the rest of your life being like, storage is full. Oh, well. No. So when you get that little notification in your head that's like, bestie, what you're doing right now is like tapping into shit that isn't fun, then actually listen to the notification and be like, you're right. Let's sort through some of this stuff and let's fill up the trash can. Because that's very important. Spring cleaning, but for your brain. Spring clean out those societal stigmas. We don't need them anymore. Thank you. But yeah, a lot of anxiety and depression and stuff like that. It is... It's none of your guys' fault. Like, it is not your fault at all in the slightest for being anxious or being depressed and feeling like you're not functioning at the level that you should be. That is absolutely none of that is your fault. And no, if anyone ever like tries to make you feel like you're not doing enough or you should be doing more, I am so sorry. And you do not deserve that. I promise you 100% with my entire heart that you are doing enough and you are enough. You will always be enough. You are not like a puzzle that needs to be put back together, and you're not a puzzle that's missing pieces that you need to go find and like look for. No. You are like an ever-changing piece of art. Like, does a sunset ever look the same? Maybe if you just like look at it briefly and say, oh yeah, I've seen that before, whatever. No, but if you look at every single like sunset and sunrise, they all look so different, but they're also beautiful. And that's literally what we all are. It's like sunsets and sunrises. Like so beautiful. But do you ever do you take the time to stop and appreciate that? Because that brings me back to kind of to what we're talking about. The sun, bitch, she puts on a goddamn show. Every single morning and every single evening. Do you see the theatrics she does in the sky? Oh my God. Like, she's up there having her own little Cirque du Soleil show in the sky. Super Bowl halftime, they wish they could have the sun. Like, ugh. Bob Ross, who? Picasso, who? Just watch the sunrise, watch the sunset, because you want to know how many people go through their lives and they don't even acknowledge it. The sun is putting on this grand, spectacular show every single morning and every single evening. And how many people don't even stop to appreciate it? But she still does it. She still does it. Because, you know, sunrises and sunsets, they are inherently beautiful, and they do not need people to tell them that they're beautiful. Yeah, it's nice to be appreciated and to be seen. It's just, I don't know. This is already, this video is like, this podcast is getting very long. I just get so passionate. I don't know. I just get so passionate. Basically, even if you feel like you aren't being appreciated, or you feel like people are totally discrediting all the work that you do, just look at the sun and say, you know what? You and I were in this together. You rise every morning. I rise every morning. And people may not appreciate that, or they may overlook how much work actually goes into doing that, but you got to keep doing it for yourself and the sun and the mitochondria. Think of the mitochondria. Oh, if anything else, think of the mitochondria. Really think about them. Oh my goodness. Wow, the mitochondria really just all comes back to them, doesn't it? Aren't they just the foundation? But yeah, I don't know. Just, you are enough. And you always have been, and you always will be. And that's that. That's it. And you know what? I don't care how many people have made you think otherwise, because I'm here right now and I'm telling you otherwise. And if they want to take it up with me, they definitely can. Be my guest. Send them my way. I'll have a word with them. The way that I'm not joking. The way like I'm being totally serious. Like if you have like a high school bully, a resident mean girl at your school, have her send me a DM. Have her send me a DM real quick. Oh my God. I feel like not me offering to be like a hitman, an emotional hitman for all of your guys' sworn enemies. Because I would. Don't even think for a second that I wouldn't, because I would. No hesitation. Mm-mm. Oh my God, the way that I really did only answer 2 questions, that was, you know what? It started out as a joke. It's not a joke anymore. I was trying to think of that TikTok audio. What is it? I used to say as a joke, but I don't think it's a joke anymore. Me only answering 2 questions. And this video was literally over an hour long, and I answered 2 questions. Oh my God, Audrey, that's something I need to work on. But I promise, if you asked questions and they didn't get answered, I will be answering them in a future podcast because I want to. And your questions and your input are very, 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 very important to me, and I love to hear them, and I am going to answer them for you and talk about them for you, because if you took the energy out of your day to submit them, then I will give that energy back by answering them. Almost an hour per question. Yeah, is that realistic? I wish. Oh my gosh, if I could just sit here and just answer questions like one of those little fortune teller ladies in the box, and you like put 2 quarters in and ask a question, and I just except it just goes on and on and on, and you're like, damn, like I only put 2 quarters in, like you don't have to be doing all that. Okay, I don't even know, what am I gonna title this video? Like, what do I even title this video? Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Imagine, maybe I would do something like that. Let's be honest. Okay, well, I'm really sorry that I didn't get around to all of the questions. I promise you, I will be doing them. I will be answering them, because I do want to upload more than 1 podcast a week. Ideally, I would love to upload multiple podcasts every week. It's just I need to find a good time to sit down and record them, because if they are like hour-long podcasts, that is a substantial amount of time I have to find during the day to sit down and do that. But gosh darn it, I'm going to, because I like it and I have fun. Sorry about that. Sorry about the aggression. Sorry. See, I just don't want to get up. I just want to like keep on chatting. I need to get up and do my adult things. I say that at like the end of every podcast. I gotta go up and do my not stupid. They're not stupid. They're fun. Everything, you do the bad things to get the good things. Every time I say stuff like that, I just think of Full Metal Alchemist, the anime. I'm so sorry if that is shocking for anyone to hear that. Yes, I do in fact watch anime. Sorry. Full Metal Alchemist. Oh, I love that show. I think it's on Netflix. If you guys haven't seen Full Metal Alchemist, highly recommend. Do not watch Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood first, though. I think is that the only one on Netflix? I don't know. Full Metal Alchemist, though, it's a very good anime. Watch it if you haven't watched it already. But the like whole theme in that show, like even in the intro, it's like equivalent exchange. To gain something of equal value must be lost, And I always think about that because it's genuinely true. Like in order to get a cake, you have to lose the ingredients. You put the ingredients in order to get a cake. Stuff like that. Very cool. Very thought-provoking. Yes, the anime. And anime is really getting my noggin turning. Oh, I really just don't want to get up. I don't want to get up, and I don't want to stop talking to the point where I will openly admit to you guys that, yes, I do in fact watch anime. Leave your recommendations down below. Preferably ones that are on US Netflix, because I think that's all I have. Maybe I have Hulu. I don't know. I also love Soul Eater. Okay, we're not getting into that. We aren't. Maybe we'll have a whole anime-themed episode. I don't know. Who knows? With this podcast, there's no rules, there's no limitations. This is a safe space. Okay, okay, sorry. I just get so sucked into conversations and my brain just keeps going, and I have to like take a second, zone out, and like reel it back in. Like mentally, I like enter my brain and just like, alrighty, bring her back. I have to do that so many times every single day. This is a long episode. Do you guys care if there's like a limit? Like, do you guys care how long the episodes are? I don't think so. I don't know, because you can always just return. If you can't finish an episode in one sitting, you can always return whenever you'd like. I'll be here. I'll be waiting. So, no pressure. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry that I only answered 2 questions. But hopefully you guys got some insight from all that, because I said so much, so many words. But what was the meaning? What was the reason? What was the reason? Reel it back in. I gotta go eat some food and clean, oddly enough. I gotta clean, but it's gonna make me feel good. It's gonna make me feel productive. And who doesn't love that? That's one of the best feelings. Okay. That's all for this one. I will be answering more of the questions in the next episode. Hopefully I'll be able to post at least 2 podcasts this week instead of just 1. Because I think that would be fun, especially because I don't want to leave you guys hanging who did ask questions that didn't get answered. I don't want to leave you guys hanging. So I will be filming again. But this was so much fun. Oh my gosh. Every time it's just even more fun. Like I feel like our bond is deepening. Like I feel like we're really becoming besties. I feel like we're really just getting close. And I love that for us. So, remember, follow me on Instagram if you don't already, because I post updates over there on like when new videos are being uploaded or when I'm filming and want you guys to ask questions. So go follow me over there. And that is all for this one. Feel free to check out some other videos on my channel. Check out my links in the description. And I'll see you guys in the next podcast. Bye!